Family, what is poppin' with y'all, man? It is nice to see your face. Well, I mean, I can't see your face, but you can see my face. So it's nice to see your face. But, man, anyway, I want to thank you for clicking on this video. In my last video, right, my self haircut tutorial, if you have not checked that out, go ahead and check out my last post. It is super dope. I kind of asked for some ideas on what kind of content you guys would like to see. I gave some options, you know what I mean? And a comment that I saw the most was kind of like my story, how I became a barber, and you know, my life story. So that is what I have for you guys today. But before we get into the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment, let me know how this affects you. If it adds value to you, let me know down in the comment section. Go ahead and follow me at Dreclipperhands. But without further ado, family, this is my story. So my name is Andre Ariel Morales. Don't laugh at the middle name. I know it's like the Little Mermaid.
I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
But I'm 21 years old. I was born and raised here in Lorain, Ohio by my mother and my family, right? So the quote that says it takes a village to raise a child was very true in my life, because my father wasn't in my life. He's been in jail the majority of my life. Unfortunately, he's in there now. So it was a really big group effort to mold and shape me into the young man I am today, from being raised by my grandma, my titi, obviously my mom. It was a group effort, you know what I'm saying? So that quote was very true in my life, you know what I'm saying? But growing up, my mother did a very good job at raising me, because growing up, I never felt like I lacked anything, even though my father wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a grinder. I always say, like, that's kind of where I get my mentality from, of like, just do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely feel like I get my mentality and that character of working hard from my mother. But growing up, I never felt lack. You know what I'm saying? She always filled those spaces. She always provided for me. Like, I never questioned the way I was growing up. It wasn't a very hard life. I just didn't have my dad, you know what I'm saying? So I really want to give a shout out to my mom, you know what I'm saying? She is definitely the GOAT. But I would say growing up with a father wasn't really hard until I got older, right? Because when I was younger, I didn't really think about it. I saw my friends, they had dads, you know what I'm saying? But it kind of was what it was. My dad wasn't there. I had my uncle. He was kind of like that father figure, you know what I'm saying? But as I got older, right, and I started to accomplish things, for example, when I would win awards, or when I graduated high school, or when I got my barber's license and I got to cut Roddy Ridge, like, the more, like, accomplishments that I have is really when I feel the void of not having my dad, because it's like, yo, everyone's here, but not my dad, you know what I'm saying? So it was really hard as I got older. But when I was younger, it really wasn't even a thought, you know what I'm saying? But the way barbering came to be, right, was going into my end of 8th grade, beginning of freshman year. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted a haircut, but my mom would only take me to get a haircut every 2-3 weeks. And this is when I really started to care how I look, and I was like, man, I need a haircut every week, fam. And I already knew that my uncle on my dad's side cut hair, and my uncle on my mom's side cut hair. So I was like, I knew people that cut their own hair. I knew it was a thing, but I was like, man, you know what? I'm about to try cutting hair. So we're gonna take a step back, right? When I was younger, we went through a time period where we didn't have a lot of money, so my mom was cutting my own hair, you know what I'm saying? She worked at Sally's, so she had a very cheap pair of Andis clippers that she used to cut my hair with, bro. It was the worst haircut I've ever had in my life. She used to do my eyebrows, bro, and I swear they were like 3 fingers apart. She would get like literally a razor like you would shave your face with and go straight down the middle to get rid of the unibrow, bro. It was bad. But now we're gonna go back to 8th grade when I started having an idea to come on here, right? I was like, man, I really want to cut my own hair. And my mom had those clippers, so I was like, man, you know what? I built up the courage. I watched a couple YouTube videos, and I was like, bro, I'm about to cut my own hair, you know what I'm saying? So I got a little square mirror that my mom used to have on the wall, and the one on the bathroom, all wall. And I cut my own hair, right? I had the YouTube video right next to me as I was doing it, and I swear on my life, bro, that was the longest haircut I ever had in my life. It was like 3.5 hours, and I was bald headed, bro. I had like a number 1, and I had kind of a bald fade, kind of not blended into the 1. And dude, I was just bald. I was a bald headed 14-year-old kid, a bald 14-year-old. I was looking crazy, fam. But yeah, so I started cutting my own hair. I swear, when I first cut it, yo, I thought it was hard. I thought I did an amazing job, right? But I did it during the summer because I know if I would have messed up and I went to school, it would be over, dude. I would have got roasted. I would have got cracked on. So I waited for the summer to start cutting my own hair. But, you know what I'm saying? I stuck with it for a little bit. I kind of stopped at the end of summer. Going into my freshman year, I started going to the barber shop again, and I was like, man, they're not even giving me what I want. Like, this looks like trash, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I'm about to just start cutting my own hair. If they're gonna mess me up, I might as well mess up myself. You know what I mean? So I started cutting my own hair, and yeah, I stuck with it. I kept doing it. I got better and better, and sooner or later, the fades on myself were pretty decent, you know what I'm saying? They was getting a little bit blurry. And then sophomore year, right? I'm going into my sophomore year. And I'm like, man, I want to try cutting someone else's hair. So I asked my cousin, I was like, yo, you should let me cut your hair. And I had to ask him for the longest, right? So I ended up, the first thing I ever did on him was just a line up all the way around, square neck, all that. I was like, cool, smooth, it's all right, you know what I'm saying? And then I started cutting my other cousin, and then eventually I threw in a taper, I threw in a fade. And it just started progressively getting better, you know what I'm saying? They were kind of like the test dummies because, bro, when I say I pushed my cousin's lineup back, that joint was like right there, bro. And yeah, I kind of messed them up, you know what I mean? But eventually I got pretty decent, and I was like, man, I'm about to start asking my friends to cut their hair. So junior year, right? I got my little friends, I got my little crew, you know what I'm saying? And I have to keep throwing it out like, yo, let me try cutting you up. So I started cutting their hair. And the first fade I ever did on someone other than my family, right, was a burst fade. It was a burst mohawk. It was on my dude Deuce, Marcus Martin, and this is the picture. It wasn't terrible, but bro, it was not good. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of already knew what to do because I've been cutting my hair for about 2 years now. I kind of had an idea of how to fade, but it wasn't very good. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, this is kind of fun for doing my first haircut. So I stuck with it throughout my junior year. And going into senior year, right, I was in classes to be a physical therapist, which, bro, I could not go to school for 8 years to be a physical therapist. I just couldn't do it. School is not for me. So I was like, Mom, I really want to go to barber school. And she was like, man, what? Barber school? Like, what the heck? Why do you want to go to barber school for? And barbers don't really make money. But, you know what I mean? I can't blame her for thinking that because we didn't know any barbers for real. We thought barbering was kind of looked at as kind of like a hustle. It wasn't a legit career. But I already knew through Instagram, through YouTube, and looking at these people that Instagram is a legit career. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I want to go to barber school. So it took a little bit of convincing, but eventually, you know what I mean? She's supportive. She enrolled me in barber school. So, you know, I busted my senior year. I'm not really trying. I'm getting like average grades. I might have had a D in there, man. Do not follow my example. If I could go back, I wouldn't have done that, but I just busted through my senior year. I graduated. I'm excited because I know the next step is barber school. So I'm enrolled. I have to go through the summer, you know what I mean? That 2 months, and then I start that September. So I get in barber school, man, and I started with my dude Luis Camacho. He's also a barber my age. We started around the same time, went to the same high school. So we started barber school on the same exact day. You know what I mean? We go to barber school and we walk in this school. And this school is huge, bro. It is the longest walk you will ever have. It's like 25 chairs. You walk through the middle of them. They're all side by side. You feel so intimidated. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was like the first day, you know what I mean? We started meeting everybody and stuff like that. And yeah, I go through barber school, and it's really a cool experience because, you know, being from Lorraine, it's a very small town, so you're surrounded and introduced to people with not a very different kind of mindset, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's everyone for the most part thinks the same, acts the same, believes the same for the most part. So I went to, it's in Cleveland, about 30 minutes away, and this barber school introduced me to a lot of different people with a lot of different backgrounds and cultures. So it was most definitely like a shock at first, but it exposed me to so much, and it challenged me to go deeper in my relationship with God. It challenged me to go deeper in my people skills, you know what I mean? And barber school was not easy at times, but it is definitely one of the best experiences I have ever had. I learned a lot. So anyway, I get through barber school, I finish, I graduate, and yeah, I'm super excited. And then I go take my state barber exam and I pass. Obviously, a boy's a barber, you know what I'm saying? And then yeah, now fast forward, I'm about a year and a half out of barber school. This past October was a year, so it's like a year and a couple months now. And yeah, your boy is a licensed barber, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how barbering came to be. It was purely like the Lord directing my steps, because when I started cutting hair, your boy just wanted to be fresh. I kind of cared how I look, and I needed my hair cut every week, and then it just kind of unfolded and unfolded and unfolded and unfolded, and to me wanting to make a legit career and feeling that this is where the Lord has placed me to do with my life, you know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, you know, to see how everything kind of worked out, right? Because when you're going through hard times, when you're in the midst of it, it can be the most stressful time, and you don't know like why you're in this place, and you can't really see where it's taken, you know what I mean? But once you're past the hard time, you can look back and you're like, oh, this happened, and that caused this to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just seeing how everything worked out and how the Lord led you through all of it. So it's an amazing experience. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in a place, right, where you don't know what you want to do with your life, you know what I mean? Because not everyone is blessed to know what they want to do in high school. And that's fine, you know what I mean? You don't have to know what you want to do out of high school, family. But if you're struggling with figuring out what you want to do with your life, I challenge you to search hard, seek the Lord for guidance and for clarity on what you want to do. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to get into a career into a career and not love what you do, fam. It'll be hard, it'll be frustrating. You know what I mean? So make sure you're finding something you're passionate about, something you love, and find a way to honor the Lord in that, family, and the sky is the limit. You know what I mean? Like me, I shouldn't be in the position that I am in my life. You know what I mean? I grew up without a father, a single mother. You know what I mean? That's a lot of people's story, but a lot of people continue that cycle. A lot of people are raised without a father, right? And they grow up and they end up the same exact way. You know what I mean? So for me to be able to sit here and talk about the things that I accomplished, it is only by the Lord's grace. You know what I mean? I didn't do anything to earn or deserve where I'm at in my life. Like, bro, a couple months ago, I just cut Roddy Rich. And a Grammy award-winning artist, bro. Like, I didn't do that by my own merit, you know what I mean? I put in the work, I grinded, but ultimately that opportunity came because the Lord provided it for me. You know what I mean? So family, remember, look, find something you love to do and trust the Lord and ask Him for guidance on what to do with your life. You know what I mean? Because I shouldn't be here. It is only by the Lord's grace, fam. So I challenge you and I encourage you to continue to play the cards you were dealt as if they were the cards that you've always wanted, right? We're born into circumstances and situations that we cannot help. But what you can control is your perspective, how you deal with it, right? Perspective drives performance every day of the week. That is a quote from my man, Inky Johnson, right? How you view what you do, will always affect how you do what you do. So family, make sure your perspective is one that is positive, one where you can encourage and change the cycle of your family, put it on a new path, you know what I mean? But yeah, family, that is my story. So I hope if this encouraged you, if this blessed you, if you got inspired through it, that you would drop a comment down below. You know what I'm saying? Hit that subscribe and like button, and go ahead and follow me at Dreclipperhands, because on that Instagram, right, I share some very encouraging messages. I show a little bit more of my work, and it's just a little bit more intimate than YouTube. You know what I mean? So go ahead and follow me at Dreclipperhands for some more dope content, family. But I do want to thank you guys for clicking on this video and watching it. You know what I mean? It is really much love. I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. So yeah, family, blessings, stay encouraged, stay faithful, continue to push and grind. You know what I mean? But yeah, fam, love.